All right, hey there, guys. It's Wild Runs Disc Golf, and with me I have.
JK Disc Golf.
So, so a little bit about me. I've been playing for about a year and a half now. Not all that good, but I've been watching Joe Mez and every YouTube channel religiously. Probably spent 300 hours watching disc golf, and I decided let's make a channel. So I've been making videos every day for the past like 2 weeks or so, and um, yeah, I love every minute of it. What about you?
Yeah, it's basically how I started too. I've been playing disc golf for about 4 years, and it was just started out as a hobby with me and my uncles, and then I stumbled upon Joe Mez and other videos, and probably watched every single one that they put out, and then I decided, you know what, I can do this. I can do somewhat like it. So I just grabbed my iPhone 6 at the time, propped it up on my bag, and just started recording my rounds. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So before we dive into the topic, I just have to say your last video was one of the best disc golf videos I've ever seen. What
Thank you.
compelled you to decide, let's let the internet decide what I do for this round?
Um, it started actually is I knew I was going to cut my hair before. I get comments every day. And then
Yeah.
especially after the Brody Smith thing, I get DMs every single day saying how horrible my hair looks. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, might as well make it a video anyway. So I knew that people send me random dares all the time, like do this on the course, do that. So I was like, I'll just let everyone decide what I would do. And then, yeah, that's how it happened. So
Let's see. My favorite one's definitely haircut, cut a disc. That was hard to watch.
yeah,
Um, and then pants down on the course. Was there anyone around when you did
yeah,
that?
I saw that and I was like, man, who wants to see that? Just goofy.
That reminds me also. You said, I have been naked on a course. So there's a
Oh yeah.
story there that you didn't say on the video. Would you like to share that
um,
now?
so this summer, me and my uncle went to Blue Ribbon Pines. Do you know what course that is?
I don't think so.
It's in Minnesota. It's like one of the most popular courses in the country. Beautiful course, 27 hole layout. And there's one hole where there's like a big pond. And I threw one of my destroyers that was probably my oldest disc in my bag. It's about 5 years old or something like that. And landed directly in the middle of the pond. And there was no way that I was going to leave it there. So I just stripped down, jumped in the pond, and found the disc.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some pictures out there. It was messy, but we got the disc, so that's all that matters.
Nice. Yeah, if it's a destroyer, you got to keep it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, one more question.
All right.
So you said you're like a full-time student, right?
Yep.
So how do you manage that with YouTube? Because I've only been doing it for a month or so. It takes so much time.
It does. It really does. So, I mean, luckily, not I shouldn't say luckily, but this year it was a little different because of COVID. So everything was online. So I never really actually had to go to any of my classes. So I could
Nice.
manage that. I go to the course a lot more often than I could previously. But before that, my school has a disc golf club. So I would
Sick.
film. Yeah, I'm part of that. So I would film before the club. And I would be playing with those guys anyway. So it was kind of like perfect for me to be able to sneak in some rounds and some videos in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm.
My high school didn't have anything like that. That would have been sick.
Oh, really? Very cool.
Oh, all right. So the topic today is how pro players are going to approach YouTube in the future.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's just like the writing's on the wall. Everyone that has like the capacity to do it right now is doing it.
Hmm.
And I think it's a great topic for discussion since we both love the sport and watch all the videos that are out
Yeah.
there. Um, so just off the top of my head, what is your view of it and where do you see it growing in the next couple of years?
So actually, my major in college right now is like communications and social media marketing. So
Nice.
I've been saying since forever, as long as I can remember, that disc golfers need to be part of making YouTube videos, making sure their social presence is make more popular. Because one, that's how they're going to sell more discs.
Yeah.
Even if they're not like Paul Macbeth or anything like that, they're going to get their name more out there. One person I can think of right now is Ezra. I think almost all the disc golfers who are really into watching like videos or really know Ezra right now, and I think it's all
Oh yeah.
because of the videos he's putting out and the personality that he's portraying. I think disc golf right now is lacking a little bit of the personality and the storytelling. So I think
Hmm.
YouTube has a great aspect to let these players talk a little bit more about their life, things they're going through, and just that story where people can like not just like them because of their play, but also because of the background story that comes along with them. So I think that the more disc golfers that equip this to their lifestyle and their game, more fans will follow along, and that just builds like a whole more like storytelling on YouTube, and that brings more eyes for, I don't know, recommended videos, more people just coming in to see the whole world of disc golf, not just that person.
Yeah, I feel like the myth around Ezra was already so big, and then he
Hmm.
started making out like quality videos. So like, there's no way he doesn't get like 50K subs in the next year.
Oh, and I think he's doing really great job on YouTube. One of the best disc golf YouTubers doing it.
Oh yeah, like flight tracking on
Mhm.
just a casual video, like that's insane.
Yeah, you can tell that he wants to be doing this, and he's like taking pride in his work.
Yeah. Um, I think besides Ezra, like the only person that's like really giving it their all is Simon. I would say
Hmm.
like Paul is making out a couple videos that are like pretty good, but they're still pretty inconsistent.
Yeah,
And Hannah's doing all the work for him.
exactly. I think they just use his face because Paul McGrath's gonna be popular anywhere.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And then Simon's or not Simon, Eagle's doing videos for Vlogmas, but other than that, he hasn't really contributed that much to his videos.
yeah, it seems
And
like just like once a year he only does it really during Christmas time. I see like sometimes he
yeah,
does vlogs for tournaments once in a while, but
yeah. I mean, it's like a commitment, so I don't necessarily
oh
blame
yeah.
Eagle, but yeah, I just if
Hmm.
you see where Simon's income is coming right now, like I have to assume it's like 50-50 YouTube and disc golf. Like the tournament money he's made this year is potentially like nothing compared to
I,
what he's making from sponsorships and YouTube,
hmm
I would say. So
and
if he's like the example, I would say like everyone that like has any energy to do a practice round and record them and all the other players on their card, like they should just go for it.
yeah, and there's the potential so much there because I've kind of always said since the beginning of this season, I've kind of like started less watching post round coverage, and I've kind of started only watching like Simon's videos. And honestly, I think that the skins matches are so much better than post round coverage. It keeps me way more entertained. It's funny. You see the personality, and I just think it just has more potential to grow the sport than post round coverage does.
So bouncing off that,
Hmm.
do you think like the future is Jomez doing a lot more like post round coverage and transitioning from only rounds to potentially interviews and uh, skins matches and all that?
I think that everyone that I've seen, and when I touch on this topic on either social media or I make a video on it, everyone seems to love post round coverage. So I'm not saying it's going to disappear, but I think from an outside perspective, that people would have a better understanding and be more entertained if they watch either just highlights or the interviews than
Mhm.
just because I can't see a person just who has nothing know about disc golf jumping in, watching a random round and just being like, you know what, that's for me.
Mhm.
Sure it happens, but I think that we have a better chance of showing like amazing shots going off and stuff like that more than just here's a round that no one knows
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah. Like I think my first video that I watched was like 2019 USDGC highlights, and that was like my first intro of like, oh, okay, yeah, these people are insane. Like I've
Yeah.
thrown the frisbee around a little bit during like ultimate in high school and college, and
Hmm.
I like get what they're doing. But if I watched full round, I just kind of think it's like golf or something. So yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree.
And it's actually interesting. I think Eagle just said something. I don't know if it was on a video or if it was on social media or something, but he said that Jomez should stick to like a highlight film for round one, like film a bunch of different cards instead
Mhm.
of just focusing on one, and then after round one, then focusing on post round coverage,
Yeah.
which I think that's a good idea.
Hmm. That reminds me, there was like oh, what is it called? Oh, Maple Hill. There's like hole 9 against the water, and
Hmm.
Central Coast just had cam the whole day, just recording ace runs.
Yeah.
And so like one part of their post round coverage was just like Paul and a whole bunch of other people like hitting chains, then a couple people actually acing, and it
Hmm.
was like exactly what I wanted to watch because it was like round
Exactly.
one, scores aren't too important. You just got to
Hmm.
see aces.
Exactly. And that's something that should be incorporated more.
Yeah. It's just like I already know that like their people are so stretched thin that like I just don't know how they would do it. Like I don't know how you record multiple cards and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
But
that I think that comes into when like the DGPT takes over. I think it's gonna happen eventually when they buy out all these media companies or they join forces. Because I think as
mhm,
more as we grow the sport, it kind of needs to all be like a centralized under one name instead of how we're having the branches off of.
yeah.
I think once they can all team up, then since if no company's worrying about a post round coverage, then you can spread it out a little bit more. I think
Hmm.
that's my thought process at least. I don't know how the whole thing works. Like,
Yeah. I also just like I watch all the lead card coverage
mhm,
and they usually get like I want to say like 10,000 views per video. And it's just like they put so much effort into this and they're probably making nothing from it. And
yeah.
then lead card FPO coverage is even worse. Like it's
Mhm.
just nobody's watching it if they don't see Jomez on the name. So it's
Exactly, and
like,
it's sad
yeah,
because I think these companies do like as good of a job. I think I know that's like a lot of people think Jomez is super superior, and I think they're like the best, but I don't know if they're like that much better than everybody else. You know?
yeah, yeah. I think it's just like if you have a pro player and in-string commentary, you're set.
Hmm.
And a
Yeah.
lot of times the like smaller channels will have like some guy that's on tour, but not necessarily like that interesting to talk to. So I feel
Hmm.
like Central Coast and Jomez have it perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but let's see. Um, what would you say is like going to be the most important thing for a disc golf YouTuber that's like a pro player next year?
The most important thing, honestly,
Just like
it's kind of
consistency.
yeah. I was gonna say it's weird to say like to say quality over quantity. I don't think anyone's gonna be putting out bad videos per se, but I think if they're consistent and just putting out videos, that the
Hmm.
following will come. And then honestly, the longer you do it, I can personally tell when I made videos 3 years ago, they weren't as good, but the more I put out, the better I would get.
Yeah.
So I think that if a pro player just decides, you know what, I'm going to do this, they can just start off with their phone and just making a vlog of the tournament or like a practice round, something like that. And then once they get like a following, they're like, oh man, I can actually do this, and like it's fun, and I'm making a little bit of income from it. I think
Hmm.
the quality of the videos will increase and the production will increase, and I think that's how we improve. And I think once the ball starts rolling with some players doing it, I think you'll see like a lot more players making videos on it.
I just imagine like right before they start their tee, there's just like 10 cameras, everyone's filming.
Yeah, I could see that. That'd be pretty funny, actually.
But I think like this kind of goes to like the bigger issue that not necessarily that they should have social media, but like they just can't sustain themselves if they're only making money from sponsorships and tournaments.
Hmm.
Like it's just not enough. And I think that's like kind of sad for the sport, but I'm sure we'll get there at some point in time, but
Hmm.
I don't see it coming very soon. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
people just have to have it, have to have
yeah.
some supplementary income.
Hmm. And like I said, that's like it's free to do. Like you're not losing anything from it. And I think that's
Mm,
just another way we're gonna be able to increase the growing the sport and a lot faster. And
yeah.
social media is so big right now, and we're not taking as near advantage of it as we possibly could. So I
Mhm.
think the more people just start putting out literally content after content, we're gonna grow way faster.
Yeah.
Especially with the way YouTube is now. It just gets in one recommended feed, now it's in their feed forever, and that just
Yeah.
goes on and on and on. So
Yeah.
just need a couple pros to do it.
I think if they follow like the Simon Casey route, where you have like not necessarily a worse player, but a player that is a lot less known, they're more
Mhm,
inclined to be on a vlog with like a
mhm,
top player, and that way you can have a filmer that's recording your rounds,
yeah,
but it doesn't feel like it's like a huge chore to do.
mhm,
Because yeah, when I'm filming myself, it takes like half the effort just to like make sure the camera is positioned correctly.
yeah,
So I could see like a pro players being like, no, I'm not going to do that. But if you have
yeah,
like an outside filmer, it'll help.
I can definitely see that too. Because I mean, people don't understand like when you go out and film, it does take a little like it takes effort to do. It takes I don't
Yeah.
know for you, but like when I film around, it takes like almost double the time
Yeah.
like I would if I just threw. And people don't realize that. Also, I play on courses where there's tons of people all the time,
Oh
and then I'm like
goodness.
I'm letting groups of three play through because I'm like I don't want to slow you down with my camera, and then I'm
Yeah.
like on the course all day, and I'm fine with it. Like I signed up for this,
Yeah.
but it just the effort's there. Like people, you need to like, I don't know. It's different than I think people think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've played like by myself during like 7 a.m. or like right before sunset. So I try not to go when there's too many people because I'm just socially awkward. So I'd feel so weird if people were like, "Hey, are you like a YouTuber?" Like I don't want to deal with that yet. But I've
I do
also
the same thing.
I
I
also just play
do.
with like my friends.
I I purposely like avoid people. Like I'll be like, oh, someone's on that hole. I'll wait a little bit longer to putt so they don't see me with a camera. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah, my last round, there was like this kid that was like 300 feet away. He just barely saw the tripod, and I could hear him because there's just an open valley.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Look, mom, he's a YouTuber." And I was like,
Yeah.
"You probably think like I'm a big deal. I'm not." But immediately after, I drained like a 45 footer, and he wasn't watching. I was like, "Oh
Oh,
man."
like man, you really thought I was good.
And then I shanked my next putt. But let's see. Do you have any other comments about it? I think I've kind of talked about everything I wanted to.
Yeah, everything. I don't know. Like my one unpopular opinion that like every time I put out there, and people that just, I think the disc golf community is so caught up in Jomez right now, which is fine. I think they pioneered disc golf great from the beginning. Is I think we need to start steering away from just post round coverage, and I think that their podcast thing was perfect. I think they
Oh
did a
yeah,
great job doing that. And I think that if they steer away from like off brand content, that it'll grow the sport more. And I think that the whole like community as a whole needs to get behind this, because as soon as you talk about Jomez and anything changing, immediately there's a bunch of hate that follows it.
yeah.
Um, but
What do
you
you mean
see,
by off-brand?
well, I guess off-brand might not have been the right word, but like just like other like series, like the skins match or just interviews, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where instead of it's just because like right now you just see it's all they do is that post-round coverage, and then during the winter time they or during COVID or whatever it was, they did do that podcast. And I was like, oh man, they're
Yeah,
finally doing something different, and then they just stopped it. I understand like pros might like can't do that during the season, but like it's just gone. I was like, man, that was cool. I like that.
yeah, yeah. I could definitely tell like they're experimenting with different stuff, seeing which gets views,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not necessarily the most quality that continue to stay like doing. I mean, highlights is what retains viewers, I would say, but they keep
Mm-hmm.
putting out like just obscure highlights that I'm like, I've seen every round, like I know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I want like new content, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they do that too much now.
I agree.
But yeah, I think it'd be just awesome if they could, them and Ian from Central Coast, just be like merged, be part of like the actual tour, and just do all the filming. I don't want like,
Mm-hmm.
no offense to the live coverage, but I want them doing all the commentary because I've watched live and it's just not for me.
It's not it. It really. I feel like that's actually a popular opinion too. I hear a lot of people complaining about that.
Yeah, and it's not like I hate what is it, Jamie Thomas and who else? I can't remember. I
Nate Doss is on there
Yeah,
usually.
yeah. I don't hate them. I think that they make it like a drama,
Hmm.
and I've just never seen like disc golf as like something that's like a cinematic production. It's just like, oh yeah, these people are playing around. I
Yeah.
really hope like this guy gets like 10 under. If not, like it doesn't really matter. Like I
Yeah.
don't really care who wins that much,
Hmm.
but they do have to make it interesting. So I don't know.
Yeah. And I think one thing that I've been talking about forever, and like I always wanted to be the person to implement was, I don't know why disc golf doesn't do like a ESPN style show after a
Oh
round.
yeah.
Like that's when you bring in the highlights. That's when you talk about like a little bit of the drama. I think that style of video could even do better than post round because you're still throwing in the highlights, but you're cutting away all the stuff where it's like, oh man, he parred 5 in a row. We don't need to see that too much. But this
Yeah.
guy, he lit it up. That's awesome. Let's watch this guy on who maybe we wouldn't have been able to see before.
Oh
Stuff like
yeah.
that, where you're bringing in a bunch of different components and you're talking about like different, like not just the round. You're like, oh, I don't know, just different things like ESPN style. I'm trying to think of like random things that could be brought up, but I actually I went to 2019 Worlds and I like did
Oh
my
wow.
version of what I wanted to do. Like throughout, I did a post round ESPN style video after each day. And like that's what I wanted to be, the person to like go into disc golf and do this. And obviously not in the capabilities of doing that right now, but that was like my version of like, hey guys, this is what I want to do. This is what I think is great.
That's
So
awesome.
my uncle and I, we filmed, like we were out there at the course, the first people teeing off, and we were the last person to leave the course. Like
Oh wow.
after it was done, I would go out to like hole five's basket. That would be my backdrop. I would talk about like the beginning. I was like, oh, Paul Macbeth's up by this. Emerson Keith needs to like bounce back and do good on this hole because he did bad on that hole. And I would jump around to the like hole 17. I was like, this hole was dangerous because Simon Lizotte threw 3 OBs on this one. He like dropped. And like
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to see like disc golf do. So
That's
I did
awesome.
my little trial.
That'd be so much fun.
It
Yeah,
was fun,
I'd
but
also love to watch it.
yeah, it's out there. It's like 2019 Worlds, like day 1 or through 5 recap. Like
Mhm.
they're like short little videos, and even every day I did that. I did better. The quality got so much better, and like
Mhm.
that was something where like I was like proud of because like I had my vision, and then every day I'd be like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and
Yeah.
it just flowed super nicely.
Oh,
Forgot what I was gonna say,
yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
Just,
I think that's something that could be really cool that I think is not taken advantage of.
I feel like there's a little dream that I'm not hearing. Do you want to work for Jomas as like a media producer type job,
Oh,
or like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like Jomas in specific, but
but like the pro tour or anything?
yeah, like that was something that I've still always like I'm getting my degree in it's like communications with public relations and social media marketing as
Mhm.
my emphasis. And like ever since I got like started making videos, I said I wanted to be on like this is what I wanted to do. And that concept that I just talked about is my like idea that I've been thinking of for years. And like this is what I want to bring to disc golf.
That's
And that's what
awesome.
I wanted to run. So that's what I want to do as a career. But like if that ever happens, like that's like my dream. I'm not like saying I'm doing this, but like
Yeah,
if it happens, that'd be amazing.
that would be insane.
Yeah. And I think
Uh,
I have ideas that I could like implement, but it's just getting to that point. And I think that's also a thought I had with the whole JK Disc Golf brand was this is my way of showing that I can do disc golf media production at my level, so
yeah.
I can prove to myself to when I get to the point because I still have like 2 years, 2.5 years till I graduate. So I still have time to grow JK Disc Golf, improve what I
Mhm.
do until I get to that point. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe
although,
like post COVID, you could have like just see if anyone on tour has like an internship lined up just to be
mhm.
like a producer or any type position, just be like an intern for a bit and then transition to be on the tour.
Yep, that's like what I'm hoping to do. So that's the goal at least.
Man, I wish that was a career path I knew about. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, my goal is just like kind of grow like a channel like Simon's where I like have like goofy challenges and
Hmm.
potentially get to be like 950 rated, 1000 rated, and
Hmm.
like just go to a pro tour tournament. That's all
Yeah.
I want to do. But I'm
I mean,
so far away from that.
yeah, that's how I started too. It's just making like the goofy videos, and like it's so much fun. I think it's a great time. Even
Mhm.
like sometimes you get hate comments. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like it
I was so
happens.
excited when I got my first troll.
Yeah.
I sent it to all my friends. They were like, "Oh my goodness, these people are vicious." It's like it's
Yeah.
just like a troll. He doesn't
Hmm.
actually really care about me all that much, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
I
What's your
got.
favorite troll comment?
Well, oh man, someone. I don't know if your like channel's like PG.
Ah, not really. No.
Okay, complete random. Some dude commented on like I think it was like most underrated Innova discs of all time or something. I made like 3 years ago, and I
Yeah.
got a comment. Someone said that the reason I like disc golf so much is because I have a fantasy that I want to have sex with all my discs piled up, and that like I'm a sex maniac with my discs. I was like, this doesn't even make any sense. Like, what does that even mean? I just like I screenshot that. I just sent it off to everyone. Like, this is what I get. This is how,
That's a good one. There's
yeah.
not really hate involved. It's just a
It's just
funny
so
dude.
random. Like, what does this even mean? But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that are like commenting on how bad I am or how weird I look, those ones hurt a little bit more, but they still don't hurt that much.
nah, yeah. See, I was there was like a point, but I was like, I must have been 16 at the time when I would read every single comment and I would take everyone to heart. And then
Mhm.
like eventually I was like, you know what? Who cares? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But the ones that are like more positive definitely impact me more now than
Mhm.
some guy that I don't know says I suck at disc golf. I'm like, yeah, Oh well,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, it's been fun talking to you, man.
Yeah, it was a good time.
This is sick. All right. You want to shout out your channel?
Yeah, just JK Disc Golf. Everything on Instagram and YouTube. Make funny videos, I guess.
All right. Same here. Wild Runs Disc Golf. Signing out.